welcome to another Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Today, I'm going to unbox or unpackage or crack open this plastic wrap here of Arkham Horror, the card game, the Nathaniel Cho Guardian Investigator Starter Deck. Now, what is a Guardian Investigator Starter Deck? Well, these are individual characters for Arkham Horror, the card game. I've done a few videos on this, including a big introduction to Arkham Horror, the card game. So I'll put a link to that in the description down below. So if you want to get my take on Arkham Horror, the card game, then please take a look at that video. But what Arkham Horror generally is, it's a cooperative game, but I mostly play it solitaire, where you're going to have cards in a deck that allow you to do certain things and to take on challenges or hopefully defeat, monsters or other characters. And you're going to be moving around a grid that is basically going to be represented by cards as well that are a series of unique locations. Basically, this game is kind of based on somewhat of a kind of a novel approach or a narrative approach, where you're going to have a series of missions or encounters or stories or mythos. They're generally provided in a mythos pack, where you're going to be having to go through that mythos or that story, which might have unique locations to it and unique challenges, and has its own kind of story arc that goes along with it. And you'll have your character with its deck of cards, and if there's other people playing, they'll have their character with their deck of cards, and you're going to be moving around to different locations within that story, again they're going to be represented by cards, and having encounters. And you might have puzzles or mysteries to solve, but more often than not, you're going to have some creatures or Cthulhu type encounters. And again, this is very much a game with the Arkham Horror. I think you can probably tell this is based deep into the Cthulhu mythos, or the H.P. Lovecraft mythos, or that was picked up by other authors over time. So what do you get in one of these packs? Well, you're going to get a new character, in this case a Guardian. There's several different classes of characters in this game, and you'll get cards that go along with this character. Now, you don't have to use those cards with this character. This actually gives you more cards that you can use with other characters in the Arkham Horror game. There's quite a few characters in the game in this base set, and then there's different series or mythos packs that come out later. Now they've kind of changed the format of this, and it doesn't come in this kind of small box format. It comes in a bigger box, and they're releasing, I think, all the mythos together as opposed to having to buy them in these kind of blister packs. But that's I started off with it with this set, and this goes with that. Now, I don't know if I think they redid a box of a bigger box of Investigators under the new format, and I don't know if Cho is included in that, but whether he is or not, I imagine this is all somewhat backward compatible, I would think. As you can see here, this 60 card Investigator deck features a ready-to-play Guardian starter deck along with 26 upgrades for campaign play. Nathaniel Cho, the boxer, use your boxing gloves and powerful event cards to take out enemies one by one. These cards can also be used to augment and customize existing decks. So as you can see, you can use this with other decks. It has cards that are specific to him. And the other thing about Arkham Horror that's interesting is, as you advance through these kind of storylines, you're going to get, I can't remember if it's called experience points or something else, but you're going to get points that you can use to buy cards and upgrade your cards, because this is really kind of a deck builder, where you're going to be building a better deck and then taking on other adventures or advancing along story arcs as you do that. So with that, let's get inside this and see what we have in store for us. playing Daniel Cho. Now he is a Guardian, so that is one of the first characters I played in this was a Guardian. Roland Banks, I believe, is the name, and it was more of a they're more they kind of tend to be government agents and the like, but they're usually pretty good at. Let's see what we got here. You got the different features here, you know, like mental, lore, fighting, and speed. I don't think that's what they're called, but those you have kind of the head, the book, the fist, and the speed there, or the winged shoes. They're usually good at the fighting and speed sometimes. He's a boxer, so I imagine he's probably going to be pretty good at fighting. And so let's see what we have. See if there's anything here. This is the kind of the rules for Nathaniel Cho here, the Investigator. So it basically gives you a little bit of the background and how to use this expansion. It kind of gives you the lay of what cards you're going to get. You have assets, events, skills, and weaknesses. Again, this is a very narrative story, so they're going to have embedded in your deck weaknesses, and as if you fail certain items or make certain choices in some of the stories, you're going to get more weaknesses, and that when that card comes up, you have to do it. It's not just a dead card, you know, like a wound you might see in one of the other kind of deck builders, or like Legendary and the like, that actually does something. It has something you have to deal with, and so that becomes a problem over time. So this is upgrading him and frequently asked questions, and this expansion symbol is a boxing glove, as you can see there. So that's the rules for Nathaniel Cho. Let's get into this deck. I don't have any fingernails right now, or at least not on one side. I'm having a hard time getting some of this stuff open here. There we go. So you can pick these up for not only the you get the character there, and this shows like when they're active, and then when they're out of then when they're exhausted, when they're out of actions there, or I think that might be when they, I think it's when they're out of actions there. When they get taken out, they're taken out. That's a problem too. He starts off with 9 health and 6 sanity, and so, you know, as with any Cthulhu type story, sanity or game, I should say, sanity is always going to be a big thing. That's and if you run out of sanity, that's going to have negative effects. You run out of health, that's going to have a real negative effect on you. You can see what he's a criminal and warden. He's got some special abilities here that are unique to him. Then you get a little bit of his background, but you also get his deck building options. He has a deck size of 30, and then this is what he can buy: Guardian cards, levels 0 to 5, neutral cards 0 to 5, and then deck building requirements. You have to have Randall Cho, Tommy Mallory, and 1 random basic weakness. To start off in his deck, you have to have that in the deck. So that's him, and then these are the types of cards you get. And they're going to have, and they have multi-use. Like this is a kind of an ally, and so they're going to have health and sanity as well, so they can get attacked during the game. These symbols, you're going to be using these symbols to complete tasks or challenges. You know, you'll add up these symbols, and you're going to be drawing from a token bag that for success of certain things. There's Tommy Mallory is one of his weaknesses here, and he's actually somebody that's kind of stalking him, it looks like. Prey, so he goes after Nathaniel, and he's a hunter, and so he's going to have some attributes. These are usually what an opponent or a monster or somebody you're having to fight, an enemy. This is their kind of characteristics. So he's in your deck, and when he comes out, you're going to have to deal with him. That's a big weakness there. There's some boxing gloves, and as you can see here, there's multiple copies of some of these in here. And then you might actually see as we get into, let's see if we got, yeah, so some of these, you see those little dots underneath there. Well, that's to upgrade this. That's to upgrade it. So you might have a, what is that? That is a 1-2 punch. He might have a 1-2 punch in, let's see if he's got one in here. There's a counter punch. So you can't get that 1-2. You're gonna, yeah, there's a 1-2 punch there, basic level, and then you get those points after you have successful missions or stories or mythos. Then you'll eventually be able to get extra points and upgrade it to this. And as you can see, that this is a little bit different. It has more fighting symbols. It goes from 1 to 4, and the special ability here, the spirit or tactic, the fight here is a little bit different than, is a little bit better than in the basic one there. So that's part of the deck building game, is not only choosing what cards you want to put in your deck, but also upgrading them over time. And so there's quite a bit of nuance to this game here. And you get some events. You know, you see here is an asset, events, and what else do we have in here? Yeah, asset and events. I think that might be all the things you have here that you use during the game. And again, you can use them for the symbols on the side or for its special abilities. Here's skill. That's the other thing I was thinking, but here's a skill that you can have too. So there you have it. This is what you get in a pack of Nathaniel Cho. So you're getting, these are all the Guardian cards. As I said, the different kind of classes of characters, you know, Guardian, so you're going to have these Guardian cards, which are blue, and there's different classes that have different colors, and you know, these kind of fit with the theme of a Guardian. The other decks fit with those themes of those different types of classes. So again, these are usually very combat oriented. They might not be. There's one. I can't remember what they're called now, but the yellow is more, you know, knowledge based and thinking and knowing history and lore. This is more fighting. So this is, and then of course speed is flight. So they're going to fight. The greens, I think, which have more speed or ability or agility, might flight. Anyway, so that's what you have. There's a personal physical training there, but that's a higher level of physical training. So there you have it. That is what you get in a, well, where's it at here? There it is. A little blister pack or glass pack or clamshell, whatever you want to call one of these little plastic packs here for Nathaniel Cho Guardian Investigator Starter deck. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Again, I'll put some links to my other coverage of Arkham Horror down below. If you know how they're doing the new Investigators, feel free to drop that in the comments down below. And there you have it. Thanks all. Take care. Thanks for watching.